Ladies and gentlemen, and those of unspecified gender, chess is extremely hard. Some may call it a sport, some may call it a game. But what we do know is it is extremely challenging on you mentally, physically, and oh god damn it, spiritually. And my biggest challenge trying to climb has been the end game. But as you can see here, your boy held it out in this end game. 56. But this guy played a very weird line, which you get in the earlier um, ratings of chess. You just do. So, but I play my Sicilian. Been playing and been somewhat enjoying it, getting a few checkmates here and there, and blundering a few in games. You know, it happens. Um, Now this move right here, this is something else you get. And for white, this is honestly just a pawn. It's just not winning. But you know they could bring the queen out, and maybe they're fine with that. But it's just not winning. It just isn't. But he doesn't even do that. Instead, he moves the knight here, and you will get this at the earlier levels too. These weird knight hops, and you'll see that I end up blundering my queen, but he blunders his right back. So uh, life goes on. So play my traditional dragon. Not thinking too much of these knight moves, but I am like, okay, let me kick this guy out because it's pretty annoying. And the eval says it's pretty equal. Now this move, not sure exactly why the computer doesn't like this move, but I digress. I was honestly just waiting on him to take. You know, seriously, like I didn't really want this pawn anymore. I mean, you know, when you take a free pawn in the center, you're better off just not even like worrying about trying to hang on to it. Like seriously, like you're just better off like finishing your development, or even I mean you can't take this knight, but the queen comes out, and you probably don't really want that if you're in the earlier stages, because the queen is very scary. It can checkmate you instantly. So, but I play my standard Sicilian line. Honestly, one thing I don't like about how I play this Sicilian currently is I get my dark squared out, but then I put my pawns on dark squares, and this is most likely due to me being more reactionary to the opponent's moves, but I digress. Anyway, we got a lot of moves to get through. So now this, again, not sure what the idea here is, because that is just another free pawn. And this time your queen doesn't come out, unless you finally decide to take this pawn, in which case I really don't care. And then I'll just like play, like here, I'll play like something like, I don't even know, like maybe this, double attack. They don't like this move for what reason? Probably blunders some kind of check. I mean, maybe this. Oh no, it definitely blunders this because my bishop isn't defended. Fair enough. But point being, not really sound. Um, and he's not really playing the most sound game because every time he attacks, my pieces are just coming out into developmental squares. And this is just not good, especially considering now your knight's about to get pinned. But he moves the knight anyways, which he must just not have seen this idea. And for whatever reason, the computer doesn't love it. Probably because he just goes here, and now I have to go back. But well, they believe this is completely winning for what reason? Who knows? Now he pops the knight in the center, which I'm guessing is the move they were scared of, because this is where I'll blunder my queen, absolutely. Instead of playing something like this and just saying take my bishop, which I believe is still like losing because it's a check and all of that nasty stuff. But you'll see that this is just not sound play by the opponent. As bad as it looks for me, because it looks very bad because I completely blundered that my queen was hanging. But only solace is he kind of overextends. So I say, okay, I'm gonna counter you in the center, which is more or less the principle of chess. You counter in the center, and he completely blunders that this pawn was completely pinned to the queen, and now we're in the endgame. And recently, and this pawn's hanging too, so and your bishop's hanging, so good luck with that. But recently, I have not been the most sound in the endgame, and he castles, which I'm not sure what the idea here is, but probably here. No, I mean I lose advantage. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the computer is with the eval bar, but this is very low level chess, so the computer probably doesn't even know what's happening. Seriously. So I'll take the bishop back, and now you'll see that white doesn't really have an attack, and the eval is actually somewhat in my favor, especially because this pawn is about to get picked up. I don't know what is going on because there is no attack. There is no attack. I don't like this move though, in hindsight, because I definitely did just block this bishop, and I possibly could have played something like here, but not really the biggest fan of that move either. So he plays rook e1. Makes sense, maybe he wants to hang on to this pawn in the center. I mean, it is what it is. It's chess. But I kind of recognize that I could just either take in the center or win this or get rid of this pawn anyway. And even if this file is open, it's no real threat because he traded too many pieces off, and then he blunders the knight, which is extremely bad. And this is where it goes from bad to worse for this guy. But you see, there's 36 more moves to get through, and a king walk is necessary. And then he blunders the rook on the next. I just got out of this game, and I already forgot that this is what he did on the literal next move, which is now it's -9. So the computer thinks it's completely winning for black, but it's still an endgame. You have to kind of convert because all the lines are open. So I mean, he's just behind on development, which is another reason you don't play these kind of lines as a lower level player if you're not really a checkmate artist. And then he blunders the bishop. So he goes from let's go back. Let's go back. Right. Wait, no. Let's go back to where is it? Where is it? Yes. So not only look at where the bishop look at where the light square is. And the sad part is that both bishops are incredibly strong. So you really don't want to be trading off your bishop like this. Like it's too early in the game to go hunting the king, which I mean you get some things. Like I definitely blundered my queen here, but now it's losing. It's actually just losing from here on, and it only gets worse because as we seen, blundered not only the queen right after I blundered mine, leaves the bishop to die. Sends the knight in to die, sends the rook in to die, and then sends the bishop in to die. So all in all, in about the span of when did I take with the bishop? In the span of literally 8 moves, man's lost. Oof, I don't even know how many points. Queen's like 7, 5, and a bishop. Well, and a knight. This man blundered 18 points of material. Did I do that math right? 18 points of material. And now it's completely winning. I got both my knights. You can bring a rook, but I'm just going to play defense. And this was actually a pretty fair move. When you're in the end game, you're going to run into pawn break moves like this, but also it does blunder that. So I don't know why I said it was a good move. Actually, I lied. Sorry. Now this is pretty fair, because this will be a threat after I move this knight. Now, is there a way to this is probably not a good move. You don't really want to do this. But I mean, this is actually not bad. This is not hanging. It's fair, and I'm still up a pawn, but I don't know what the best move would have been here, but I digress. But I give a check, because when in doubt, give a check. And I get out of the way of this. This was extremely annoying. I was so annoyed when he played this move. I was like, because, it's fine. I got 2 knights to defend this bishop with, but it is extremely annoying having a rook laser beam down a file. And especially with a pawn behind a piece or a piece in front of, or a pawn in front of a piece, like just having a rook laser beam that whole fire was just, it was an annoying factor to deal with. Luckily, we're pretty much protected. Only thing that's hanging is this knight, but I gave him a check, so now he can't take the knight. And, one thing I don't enjoy is that I feel like I missed some kind of idea. It's probably not, I mean, it could be this, but yeah, I don't think so. They don't like it. I lose a lot of advantage. But you can't take. And the point is the rook is hanging, but probably moves the rook or something, like, and gives a check. It's not really like good, but I give another check. And you see there's no M on the evaluation. I kind of felt that there wasn't a mate in this position. And yeah, I think I was being a little greedy, because you see that the eval is slowly starting to dwindle down my advantage. But I didn't want to lose both of these knights, but there's really nothing stopping that pawn from taking. Unless I give this check, which only thing is the rook will take. So either way, this knight is pretty much going to fall off the board. Oh, and he does take. Okay, I didn't know that actually. And from here, keep this knight defended. The king is pretty weak. Both of the kings are weak. That's the thing of the end game. The king got to go for a walk. King got to walk. So walk the king. It's clear he wanted to take, and I was not having none of it because there's no threat. I mean, you're not promoting. Like, there's no way this pawn is promoting, and I got a 2-on-1. This is literally a completely winning endgame for black. So he gives me a check. I'm like, oh well, now I'm just gonna blockade, and knight's still defended. There's no attack. But then I realized I'm fucking up. His rook is in the game, laser beaming the shit out of all these files. I get my rook in the game. And I wanted to just say, fuck it, I'm just going to trade the rooks. Trade the rooks. Can't lose. There is a 3-on-2 here, but these pawns are falling soon, and then it would be a 2-on-1. And then this pawn is also a major threat, because there's really nothing stopping this one. But he doesn't want to trade the rooks, so I give him a check. My pieces are pretty protected in this position. I'm like, okay, screw it. Rooks on the second rank in the end games are always huge wins. Again, for whatever reason, computer doesn't like this move. It's plus 63 at this point, so there probably is some move in which I can weave some type of mating net, but I was not really looking for it. Again, he gives a check, which is fine. Uh, it's not really threatening to do much other than maybe win this pawn afterwards, which I just guard. Now the rook has to go back, and there is truthfully nothing doing. But for whatever reason, I think I play, yes, I play rook b2 to win this pawn, because once I win this pawn, his entire attack, quote unquote, is lost. He then decides to lose the rook, which was his only like saving grace in this game. Like literally. Because now this pawn is going to fall, and I will pick up this pawn by walking my king. So, well, not like this, but like this. Or even just trading off. But either way, and now this one's under fire. It's pretty much all bad for him. I'll win it like this. Oh no, win it like this. But there's nothing here. Now it's time for the infamous king walk in the end games, which is what just happened. And from here it's made in 7. I, for the life of me, will not see it. Yeah, but this is completely winning for black. You're probably gonna see the M on the evaluation the rest of these moves. But here, my idea is just, okay, I'm going to promote this pawn because this pawn is going, and, you know, I just want to promote this one. Maybe these two, they can stay on their home square, and so can this one. And I believe the entire rest of the game, I only moved these 3 pieces. And I didn't even promote this pawn, as you've seen at the beginning. The pawn didn't even promote. But this is just simple in-game stuff. Give checks. Make sure you give checks that, and you know this is very easy to do with the rook. You give checks to where you're not losing a piece or a pawn or something. You don't want to lose anything in the end game because you was just slowly dwindling down the advantage. And you're going to get a lot of this. The king is going to walk back or even walk forward. It just depends on how the pieces are coordinated to attack whatever piece just gave the check. So he was under check here. He walks back instead of walking back here, which is, it might, I don't know, it's just as fine at this point. It's the end game, so every move kind of is all right enough. But yeah, instead of, you know, walking back like this way or this way, which again are fine moves, the king is going to attack whatever piece it was being checked by. So all you got to do is defend, and this is why the king walk is so important in the game, because you will have to give checks to make sure your pawn promotes, or your pawn will just not promote. Like the king is just going to, like, this. You're gonna get this type of stuff too. You're gonna get the king trying to block, because especially, you know, the end game square, which is like this right here. I mean, it's not this big. It's actually slightly bigger. It's probably starts like right here, and then it draws like that. But this square, if the king is within this square of the pawn, so you see, you know, it's within this little box. This pawn is under fire, essentially. Like, it eventually, if you don't play it right, the pawn will just die. But, you know, you can push your pawn and make sure it's just protected by 1 or 2 pieces, and the other piece probably needs to be protected by the king. And you just walk a king, bring a king, and I think, yeah, now you see the M, the number is actually dwindling down, because the net is pretty much created because this pawn is going to promote, and the king is probably going to either run into the corner or just going to run into mate because I have a rook too that's going to make the mating net a lot wider for it. I mean, it's not much else to say. Now here, he actually could have prolonged the game, maybe with like this. Yeah, with this probably could have definitely prolonged the game. Then I would have like promoted, and you see stuff like that would have happened. Could have definitely could have prolonged the game, but for whatever reason, I think he was just as tired as I was. He was like, "All right, I'm gonna just blunder mate in one." Um, and funny enough, it's one of the more easy mating patterns to recognize. It's just a back rank. Because can't run to this file, and the whole back rank is shut off. So your only like realistic options is here, which is covered by your king, and here, which is covered by the pawn that was about ready to promote anyway. So winning the endgame is probably one of the more challenging things, which is why if anybody knows anything about chess, you know best in-game player is Magnus Carlsen, and that is also the best grandmaster in the world, bar none. Regardless of Ding, being world chess champion and all, and Gukesh ready to compete for it later this year, he's the best because he wins the end game pretty much every time he plays chess. Your only hope is to like get him to resign by getting him in such a shitty position it just doesn't work. And it's because he knows exactly how to walk the king. I'm trying to remember exactly where the king started off, but I believe he walked from here to here to here, here. He just walked. He walked from here all the way up to the other side of the board. And that's how you weave the net in the end game. Get out of here.